there, Tundra Nation, and welcome back to the channel. Today on Tundra Tactical, we're gonna ask, do you smell that? The smell of earthy aroma and commerce in the air? Yeah, well, with SHOT Show cluttering up your YouTube feed this week, we decided to put the spotlight back on the smaller gun shows that the general public can actually attend and delay our SHOT Show coverage until it's all said and done so we can bring you the most accurate info we can.
Right.
This can only mean one thing, folks. It's time to grab some cash, raise up our hopes while lowering our expectations, and find out more about the people you meet at gun shows in 2024. So sit back, learn how to spot the Fed, and let's start this show.
Ooh, high definition.
The first specimen on our list is the Conspiracy Theorist. This guy is so paranoid, his therapist, the National Enquirer, and the NSA have all blocked his calls for being too clingy. He's the warrior of the web forum, the keyboard commando who's always just one click away from uncovering the truth. That is, if only his mom would stop interrupting his research with the offers of Dino Nuggies or the unannounced cleanings of Mountain Dew Code Red cans and wads of Kleenex that have compacted onto an even layer on the floor. By the way, those cans are not empty. Oh, no, they are not. They're his emergency rations, fortified with the essence of all-nighters and gamer sweat. Honestly, the last time this fellow saw sunlight, Blockbuster was still a viable business model, and Jeffrey Epstein hadn't learned how to turn a towel into a fashionable wall hanging. His booth sells dubious anti-spying wares certified by the high priest of paranoia himself to deflect CIA mind-reading rays and alien telepathy. Oh, and let's not forget the EMP-proof boxes that look suspiciously like they've been salvaged from behind the dumpster of a Radio Shack and wrapped in used Arby's wrappers. This camouflage-clad prophet of doom has enough canned goods to outlast a Twinkie in a nuclear holocaust. Just don't look at the expiration date on that can of beans. After all, food expiration dates are just a government conspiracy. If you let him, he'll lean in and tell you about his counter-surveillance course that you can sign up for. It's a bit pricey, but if you pay in gold or crypto, he'll give you a discount. Now, the course consists of conspiracy theorist guy following you in your day-to-day life and creepily calling you at the end of the day asking, "Did you see me?"
Relax, I just want to take some pictures.
So take a stroll right on past his table of tinfoil trinkets and don't even try to mention the word flat around him, unless you've got the tolerance for a 4-hour spittle-flecked rant about NASA's lies. By the end of it, you're gonna wish the Earth was flat so you could push him right off the edge. All right, folks, watch and wonder as the living, breathing monument against modernity that we call the Fudderator steps into the light, squinting past his trifocals. This is the self-appointed guardian of the gun range and firearms tradition. His answer to every problem is a good fishing vest and a stainless steel revolver. Oh, let's not forget that shoulder holster, too. His wife suggested trying polymer once, but he doesn't care for Utah, or key parties for that matter. His rifle has enough wood on it that it sent a lumberjack's kid to college, and he's gonna tell you that a good revolver is all you'll ever need if you know how to shoot. One shot, one kill, he's gonna mutter conveniently, forgetting about those 6 rounds he missed because he was shaking harder than a chihuahua in Chinatown. Wait. This is a man who regards anything invented after World War I with the same suspicion as he views email scams from Nigerian princes. He's gonna scoff at your AR-15 and cluck his tongue with the authority of a man who hasn't tried anything new since his wedding night and has been wrong since disco died. Mr. Fudderator clutches his obsolete wisdom like it's the last life preserver on the Hindenburg, preaching to the gospel of they don't make them like they used to anymore. He's free with the expert advice about shooting, even though the only thing he shoots these days is the dollar special at the VFW.
I haven't been that ripped up since New Year's Eve.
And now, from bizarre to even worse, gear up for the human megaphone of miserliness, the Sultan of Scrounge, the Haggler. The guy whose wallet is so tight you'd swear it was doing Kegels. This specimen has been tossed from more gun shows than federal agents asking about those Glock switches, which is honestly saying something because he's the only guy who gets a pat down on the way out to make sure he hasn't pocketed anything from the bargain bins. He crashes the gun show party with a voice so grating, dogs 2 counties over start barking. I mean, he even haggles with the kids selling Girl Scout cookies, asking, "What's the best price you can do for me, shorty?" When they refuse to budge on the price, he huffs off without buying anything and shouts, "Guess y'all really don't want to go to that jamboree, Madison." Jeez. He's the dry Thanksgiving turkey of the gun show. Nobody's excited to see him, and after haggling with him, well, I guess you just want to take a nap. He's got the audacity to ask for an LEO discount because he works security at the local Target. He's the kind of guy who tries to haggle down the price of a McDonald's dollar menu for some fries. If stinginess was a superpower, he'd be the arch nemesis of full price. He'll negotiate harder than a divorce lawyer on a Red Bull binge, and God forbid you actually give this human coupon a discount, he'll act like you've just knighted him in the ancient order of the cheapskates. Beware of his toothy grin of victory. It's the same look a shark gets when it smells blood, or a lawyer gets when they see an ambulance. Gather round, ladies and gentlemen, for the curator of outdated warfare. It's time for Time Warp Timmy. This walking, talking, military surplus garage sale looks like it stepped out of an East German fallout shelter and still thinks the Cold War is going on. He's got more unnecessary buckles, leather straps, netting, and pouches than a Las Vegas adult novelty store during the AVN Awards. Seriously, this dude is so decked out in enough random gear, he makes a Swiss Army knife feel unprepared. He's the poster boy for "I saw it in an action movie, so it must be tactical." He rolls in looking like Chuck Norris if Chuck Norris shopped exclusively at Goodwill and didn't do any cardio. His Sunday church clothes are the nice Flecktarn camo jacket and pants that went out of style with waterbeds and pet rocks. Time Warp Timmy looks like he's about to have a musical cameo in Stranger Things where he'll sing title tracks like MREs and Me and Full Metal Fanny Pack at the mall food court. And the knives! Holy Chinese steel, Batman. This guy carries enough knives, he's got a job offer from Benihana. His motto? 1 is none, 2 is 1, and 27 is just right. Roll up, ladies and gentlemen, and feast your eyes on the traveling circus we call Dubious Gear Dave. This guy rolls into a gun show like he's unloading a yard sale from the set of Mad Max. Do you want some crusty MREs that have a longer shelf life than your will to live? Buddy, he's got you a buffet of botulism-inducing choices waiting just for you. He's the king of paracord in every color known to man, and probably some discovered by accident. Do you need some neon pink or dayglow orange? Well, he's got it, so you can make your gear reflect your wondrous fluorescent inner child. His collection of gas masks has been around the block more times than your third ex-wife on her self-discovery journey that conveniently coincided with her yoga instructor Darren's schedule. Each mask comes with a free side of bad breath and the remnants of something sticky that you don't want the backstory on at all.
Oh, I just pooped a little.
His table is a treasure trove if your idea of treasure is a garage filled with end-of-days Craigslist rejects. There's more unusable junk here than on a Hoarders episode of Intervention. If it's covered in dust and smells faintly of a conspiracy theorist fear sweat, well, then he's probably got it. Dubious Gear Dave doesn't just sell you a product, no, he sells you a dream that one day when society collapses, you'll be the neighborhood overlord with a designer gas mask and enough expired beans to become the envy of the apocalypse with your bean-powered biological foghorn. Oh, and just remember, when he flashes you that toothless grin and says this is the good stuff, you're about to buy something that's part antique, part regret, and likely rejected by a drunk Soviet officer in 1988 as being unsafe for conscripts. We have seen some sketchy folks at these gun shows, but near the top of the list, we have History Channel Harry. This is our walking encyclopedia of useless wartime trivia, and he can spew out the model numbers of all the World War II rifles like their children's birthdays, though he does seem way more familiar with the German ones. He's the guy that corners you at the table using your Midwest politeness to hold you emotionally captive, droning on in such details about old firearms that even Ian McCollum would be looking for an emergency exit. He's like historical quicksand. Stand still for too long and you'll sink into a lecture swamp. This self-proclaimed historian's got a bayonet that he claims almost tickled Rommel's ribs, and he'll sell it to you for the low price of just one segment of your sanity. Every item on his mothballed scented table of artifacts is tagged with a story that's 3 parts fiction, 2 parts wistful thinking, and 1 part tinnitus risk.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you over my military-grade tinnitus. What?
And he is relentless. Once he locks onto you, you are in for a lecture that's more painful than sitting through your nephew's kindergarten play about the food pyramid. God help you. Remember, engaging with History Channel Harry is riskier than online dating. You think you know what you're getting into until you're an hour in, questioning all your life choices and Googling how to fake your own death. So if you ever find yourself face to face with this anachronistic anomaly, just throw him off by asking about anything modern. Literally, that's all it takes. Watch as the confusion sweeps over him like when you first gave your grandparents an iPhone. Next up, we have Wannabe Wyatt. Yep, this human tumbleweed is somehow a cowboy emoji come to life. He's got that ye old West vibe, dressed up like he's about to draw down on the Clanton gang at the OK Corral, an event he's studied so much he thinks he's due for a pension at the Tombstone Sheriff's Department. This guy's so stuck in the past that his idea of an AR-15 is 2 cult peacemakers duct taped together. When he says, "I'll text you," he means he's gonna send you a telegram. Wannabe Wyatt struts around in spurs, jingling like a dishwasher full of change, looking for an excuse to fan his hammer and show off those snakeskin boots, which are about as genuine as his recount of the one time he nearly enlisted. Then we gotta talk about that mustache. Woo, buddy, that glorious mustache bristling with the audacity of a porcupine defending its PhD thesis. That mustache, in homage to every Western cliche that ever rode off into the sunset, is so embarrassing, Sam Elliott's stash once caught a glimpse of it and out of sheer embarrassment tried to crawl off of his face, find the nearest razor, and end it all. Our faux frontiersman is stuck in a West that's so wild it exists only in his delusionally romantic headspace. There he is, waxing poetic about duels when the only showdown that he's trained for is who gets to the toaster strudel first in the morning. Oh, and let's be clear, the closest thing to a standoff this guy's ever experienced was choosing between regular or unsalted peanuts at the convenience store. Wild indeed. Alrighty folks, brace yourself as we come across the strangest creature at the local gun show, Pete the Panic Prepper. Now, they just got into guns pretty recently, which is great, but now he's susceptible to every headline and Facebook post about the end of the world, ammo shortages, and import bans. There he is, wearing his Kirkland brand cargo pants, pockets stuffed to the seams with printouts of "buy now before it's gone" lists. As he scoops up every single last box of FMJ, hollow points, or even those reloads that look sketchy, he stops caring because panic has completely consumed him, much like a Texas driver in an ice storm. There old Pete is, sitting there mumbling to himself, "You never know," as he continuously purchases ammo and gear. He talks about prepping for when the time comes, like he's expecting the battle for Helm's Deep in his cul-de-sac. Oh, and let's not forget how he buries your hopes of finding reasonably priced ammo. Calling it a mountain of bulk buys is an insult to Everest. He's cornering the market like he's the love child of Beanie Babies and Bitcoin. The prices shoot up so quickly when he walks in, you'd think they were tied to Elon Musk's Twitter account. You know what, buddy? Why don't you just leave some for the rest of us? There's a line between being prepared and being a one-man arms race. You cross that line, my friend, faster than Hunter Biden did on his way to the crack den.
America!
Next up, we have the 3D printer and a dream guy, the man who took DIY so literally he might as well have changed his name to Do It Your Damn Self. He's the MacGyver of the gun world, except swap out the saving the world part with cobbling together firearms that look like they're straight out of a post-apocalyptic Etsy shop. He's the Da Vinci of DIY firearms if Da Vinci used more zip ties and had an unhealthy obsession with some duct tape. His arsenal, I guess, consists of firearms that make you question whether you're at a gun show or a contemporary art exhibit. Is that a pistol or an abstract representation of government overreach, you ask yourself while you're standing at his booth? This is the fellow with the homemade arsenal so vast that even a James Bond villain would say, dude, just chill out a little bit. He's the kind of guy who considers a trip to Home Depot for metal pipes and PVC a supply run for doing gunsmithing. On range days, you half expect him to pull out a shotgun crafted from the supplies purchased at a Japanese Home Depot and tested by a Texas gun builder. He swears his 3D printing / handyman building thing is just an occasional hobby for fun. Yeah, buddy, my aunt's occasional wine habit is just a hobby as well, and totally not the reason she tried to ride the neighbor's Great Dane thinking it was a small horse. It's a hobby in the same way that my neighbor's garden of questionable plants is purely for personal use.
Inconceivable.
Dream Guy's idea of quality control is crouching behind a barrel full of water while pulling the trigger on his latest 3D creation. The only way his experimental firearms could be any less accurate is if they were blindfolded and spun around first. If everything goes right, it's crisp high fives all around and back to the lab. If things go wrong, well, I guess they say it's a crispy high five and a trip to the hospital. Hope he likes the nickname Lefty or Boom Boom. Hey, live poll for the viewers at home. If you guys had to spend a day at the gun show, which of these characters would you choose? Make sure to comment down below, and may the odds be ever in your favor. Subscribe!